Oh no, it's Mark. Hey, what's up guys? It's Mark Yoon and I'm here today with another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing episode 100, which is Out of Control, The Savage Berserker Awakens. Obviously from the title and from the previews from last week, we can all tell this is going to be heavily Kale centered, which I don't necessarily have a problem with, but let's get into the review. Alright, so it starts off with everybody still kind of making fun and Yin and Krillin for losing and making such a stupid mistake, for letting his guard down and Frost being able to take him out so easily. So that's, I guess, fine. It's a little cruel. I mean, this is a tournament, and Goku, he was trying to fight Frieza when in Resurrection of F, or in the second saga of Dragon Ball Super. And when he let his guard down, he got like shot by a ring from like that little dude. So I don't know why they're like ripping on Krillin so much. At least he did do stuff in that episode, and I thought he was being pretty heroic and badass. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on. So the first fight that it picks up with is Vegeta picking up his fight, I guess you can call it, with Botamo Magetta. And yeah, not really much happens here. He just keeps insulting him, but Botamo keeps talking about how his ears are covered, so there's no way that Magetta's going to hear him. The interesting part happens when Kaba shows up. He comes through the smoke, and it's pretty cool. And two guys like surround him, and he just like takes them out like really easily. He just like throws them off the edge. And then he turns into a Super Saiyan, and he tells Vegeta that like he's next to get thrown out. So I guess he's really wanting to test his mettle against his sensei, as he calls him. So that was pretty ominous and pretty cool. That robot guy Nariyama, the first time we see him, he's like getting his arms ripped off by Hit, and Hit's like, okay, let me tell you what, you can either jump off the edge or I'm gonna knock you off. And then this back panel opens up on Nariyama's back, and he starts charging what looks like a particle beam or some kind of energy beam. And he charges at Hit and starts to say like main cannon, but Hit does time skip right before he gets to him and literally just like flicks him off the edge. So Nariyama's off. That happened pretty quick, but it was still fun to see. It was still fun to watch Hit use more of his prowess. I'd like to see him do a few more techniques other than time skip, which we do see a few times in this episode, but I'll get to that later. So Kale is fighting some guy, and she's getting against the ropes. Some dude with like a crab mouth face or whatever. He's got like these mandibles that she punches him in the face, and he plays dead, but then latches these mandibles around her hand and kind of traps her. And then the sumo wrestler guy, I forget what his name is, I'm sorry. He kind of like picks her up by her hair in kind of this really cruel way. And the other guy, I forget what his name is, the mandible dude, we'll just call him Crab Face Man. Well, Crab Face Man says, we're going to use you as a punching bag. And then they proceed to beat the snot out of Kale while she's being held up by her ponytail. So she's getting beat up pretty bad too. Like, he's not like looking like he's holding back any punches. I don't know if he's particularly strong, but he is in the universe, so he is in this tournament, so I guess like this team picked him for a reason. But you know, a lot of these guys are just fodder, and we're not going to see any of their techniques. A lot of them are just going to be a means to an end for storytelling, which I don't really have too much of a problem with. But he starts pretty much pummeling her and actually using her as a punching bag. And then she goes to get thrown off, and Khalifa actually saves her. And then Khalifa turns into a Super Saiyan and threatens the two dudes, after which he just makes like really quick work of them. The sumo wrestler guy tries to put up some of a fight. He's like doing his like Tuskoi thing by like pushing her against the edge. But she's not having that, so she kind of like back slams him, like she does like some kind of like WWE like back slam move and just like slams him on the ground. And the portion of the platform in which he lands starts to like crackle and break away. And then as he's falling, he says like, "It was a pleasure." So that was pretty funny. It actually kind of made me laugh. And then Callie asks, if I say Callie, I usually say Callie short for Caulifla, so bear with me if I do that, I'm sorry. Caulifla asks Kale why she won't use her real power, and their usual back and forth, and she tells her that she needs to be more confident, and that she believes in her, and the usual between those two. And then that yard rat that we thought was going to play a major role just gets he's teleporting around Goku, and he's taunting him with nobody can see where I'm at, nobody can sense me. I'm sure Goku can, because he's so familiar with the instant transmission technique. It would only take him a second. That's why he's just standing there, I guess. But Caulifla knocks the dude off, so there goes the yard rat that we all thought had something to do with something. And then Callie asks, Callie sounds too much like Kale, so I can't say that. Caulifla asks Goku to teach her how to turn into a Super Saiyan Blue. She says it by being like, "Hey, I saw you use Super Saiyan before that was a different color than I'm used to. What was that?" And then he tries to explain it to her, but she doesn't really care. She just wants him to teach him. And he pretty much says that she's not ready. And then Kale says, "All right, well, let's do this, and let's transform." So Kale starts to transform. She's doing her thing. And then done. She can transform. It seems like she doesn't have it down yet. Which, from the title of the episode, we obviously know that she's going to, but at this point in particular time, she doesn't. So she fails at transforming, and Caulifla powers up to fight Goku one-on-one. By power up, I mean she goes into the powered up Super Saiyan, the buff form, the same exact one that Trunks did against Cell, and Vegeta did, Super Vegeta. So I guess we can call her Super Caulifla. And Goku just knocks her out of the way in one hit, and she's done for already. And he pretty much scolds her and says, "You sacrificed your speed for power." And then he also says that there's another worst part about the transformation. The stamina is really lacking. And as soon as he says that, she reverts back to her normal self. And then Goku says, "Well, this is what I think you were trying to reach for," and he turns into a Super Saiyan 2. Callie gets really excited and runs up to him, and she's like, yeah, I tried that before, it actually worked, but now I can't do it anymore. So I guess that's why she was going powered up Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan 1.5 or whatever, because she forgot how to do 2, because she did it in the heat of battle last time. So after her and Goku have some fun banter back and forth, she's like, "Yeah, more tingly stuff, right?" All that tingly crap talk. Goku says yeah, and then she turns into a Super Saiyan 2, and Goku is actually surprised by her power. I don't know if he's being surprised by her power, if he's mentoring her, because Goku always tries to mentor people while he's fighting them. And he says that she might be able to reach Super Saiyan 3 in this fight. And then she was like, "Wow, I didn't even know there was a Super Saiyan 3." And so that's kind of cool. I mean, I would like to see Caulifla as a Super Saiyan 3. That's not a bad thing. I like Super Saiyan 3, so cool. Then they face each other. They're both going Super Saiyan 2, and they're battling it out. And this fight's actually really cool. It's a lot of the fast meteor hand motion punches that we're used to, but I really actually was getting hyped while I was watching this. Maybe it was the ambiance and the music or whatever, but I was getting into it. My inner weeb was staring at the screen, just "Sugoi!" I don't know, I just really liked it. Well, in Korean it would be 좋아요, so 정말 많이 좋아요. So I don't know, it was really fun. Caulifla was talking to Goku as they're battling how much she loves Super Saiyan 2, and after she talks about that, they're both smiling, and then Goku pretty much takes her to task. He hits her a couple times, and he knocks her into some wall, which she recovers from pretty easily, because he tries to follow it up with this kick, but she blocks it. So she is doing pretty well against him. And she stands up and she says that she wants to keep going. So she's smiling and she's walking towards Goku. And Kale feels useless. She says she wants to help, she wants to support her, so she blasts this ki blast towards Goku, who just knocks it out of the way aside like it was nothing. And then Goku scolds her for like interrupting. He's like, hey you, like don't get in the way or whatever. And then Kale apologizes, you know, in her like coy, like, you know, I don't know, she just like is really coy. And then she asks Caulifla if she's bothering her, and Caulifla just doesn't even look at her, she just turns away, and then Kale like breaks down into tears. Like she falls to her knees and she starts crying. She feels completely useless. And she starts blaming Goku. She's like, you took my sister away! Like saying that she like won't forgive him. And then she transforms into legendary Super Saiyan, the Broly form, because she's blinded by rage now. So I like this and I don't like this. I wanted Kale to be her own person. Like I was fine with the legendary Super Saiyan transformation. I just wanted to make sure that like they paid attention to the writing of Kale. And it just seems like she's exactly the same as Broly. Like Broly, I don't know if you remember from the first movie, when he fought Goku, he was like really coy and shy, and like he had a small demeanor when like he wasn't transformed, and then he goes into a rage and transforms into that hulking monster. That's the same as Kale. She's like quiet, unconfident to herself, like it almost has her own mind controlled. She's just like she is Broly. Like even so much to the point where she forgets to use language when she's now around Goku. Just like Broly's like Kakarot, she's doing the same crap type of thing, like Son Goku, like just over and over and over again saying Goku's name. Like, yeah, we get it, like you're Broly. What's the problem? So Kale goes to attack them both, and hit saves Caulifla with the time skip again. Don't get me wrong, I like this battle, I like this fight, but they didn't give her anything that's her own. She's using every single technique that Broly used in the movies. She's doing that like arm bar where she's like Riot Javelin or Lariat, like taking Goku through the rocks. Doing the same exact moves, that like almost Omega Blaster where she's like pulling her hand back and throwing it like it's like a ball. Literally everything. She's like grabbing him by the face and slamming him into stuff, and like slamming him on the ground and like punching downwards. Literally using the same exact techniques that Broly uses. So yeah, we went from it being like, yeah, here's a throwback and here's a hint, like here's a homage to Broly, to yeah, it's Broly with tits. That's all Kale is. She's literally just Boob Broly. That's all she is. So from now on, I'm just gonna call her Boob Broly because that's what she is. Which I'm not too big of a fan of Broly to begin with, so that's why I wanted her to be her own character. But anyway, so she like in my notes I keep saying like Kale pulls a Broly. Kale pulls a Broly. I just keep on reiterating that. So anyway, Super Saiyan 2 has no effect, which is funny because if Super Saiyan 2 was around in the Broly movie, Super Saiyan 2 would have beat the snot out of Broly. I guess the only thing that I can say is that maybe Goku is holding back. Well, probably he's holding back. I'm sure he's holding back because if you kill someone in the tournament, then you're disqualified. And Goku is like the lead, the head person for Universe 7. So I'm sure he's trying not to get disqualified, and he knows that if he gets crazy into battle, he might actually hurt her because he doesn't know what she's capable of. And he's so much stronger with Super Saiyan Blue that he doesn't know if like the God Ki that's already in him, a part of his Super Saiyan transformation, is going to, you know, explode at any point or hurt her, I don't know. So I guess that's why Super Saiyan 2 is having no effect. So he turns into a Super Saiyan Blue, and he tries to do a Kamehameha. And just like Broly, I have it in parentheses right here on my notes. It says, just like Broly, Kale just walks through it. So she walks through it, she grabs Goku by the face, and Goku, you know, goes limp and then she falls to her knee or whatever, and like she's got smoke coming off of her, and apparently like she was worn out by taking on the Kamehameha, which is nice to see. But then Piccolo makes the assumption, he says something's wrong, and he goes, she can't control her power. Yeah, we know she can't control her power because she's Broly. She's Booby Broly. So Kale gets even more mad, and she like jumps up to the rocks, and she does that Broly move where he shoots out all the energy blasts from his body. Oh, I mean, she's so much like Broly. Like, I don't know if you remember the first movie, but remember when Goku was like fighting with Broly, and he just created that energy blast in his chest out of nowhere. Like when Goku tried to punch him, he like created this energy blast without even using his hands, just blasted him. Kale literally does that in this fight. She does the same exact thing. But anyway, so she rains all these energy blasts out. She starts blasting them everywhere, and it's like knocking all kinds of people off and whatever. She can't be stopped. She's going berserk. And she starts like walking towards Goku with this like really ominous like boom, boom, boom. It's like really like vengeful, like filled with hatred type of walk where the ground's crackling underneath of her feet. And I think this guy's name is Wands, I don't know. He uses this justice whip that he says renders evil like dead in its tracks, like it stops evil from moving or whatever. And then like the camera breaks away to one of the Zenos like deleting his picture, so he got like beat off panel. And then like she starts screaming, and like the earth is trembling. Well, not the earth, the ground is trembling beneath her feet. And one of the Pride Troopers actually says, I think it might have been Topo, but I'm not sure. One of them says, wow, even her voice is this powerful. You know, it's making us all shake. And it's at that point where Jiren steps in, and Hit starts talking to Caulifla and saying, look, listen, if she kills somebody, she's going to get herself disqualified, so we need to calm her down pretty much. And Caulifla starts yelling to Kale to calm down, but it has no effect. So Jiren just like throws this energy blast at her, and then like says it's over and turns around and has this really cool moment where it's like cool guys don't flinch at explosions, and it like blasts behind him. And she as in Booby Broly, falls unconscious to the ground, and Caulifla grabs her and starts to like tie her hair back up in a ponytail or whatever. So Jiren's powerful enough that with one energy blast, we don't know how strong he was using or if he was actually using a technique. We don't know. We just see an energy blast going. He stops it in midair, and then it explodes, and she de-transforms. So then Hit's there standing, and Jiren's still there, so they're like kind of staring at each other like they're about to face off. But then Goku interrupts them, and he's like, yo! And Hit takes that opportunity to get Caulifla and Kale out of there, so they leave. And now it's just like Hit and now it's just Goku and Jiren standing off. And then the episode preview, which the next week's episode is just talking about the Pride Troopers attacking or whatever. So, good episode. There were some animation flaws that I saw, but most of them had to do with Kale when she was transformed. That's fine. It's par for the course. The animators worked really hard, so it was pretty good. The ambiance was really good. There was a lot of chaos. It was a lot of like, if Kale was her own person and just used her own attacks and her own techniques, then I would be giving this episode like a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. But I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 just because from the intermission on, it's pretty much like the Broly movie. That's all it is. It's like it is so much a recreation of the Broly movie that even Vegeta is like on this hilltop looking over like at Goku while she's walking towards him, and he's like, oh, that monster. It's literally exact recreation of the Broly movie. So that's why my final answer is this week's episode is a 7 out of 10. It was good. It fell short in some spots, but for the most part, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was good. But anyway, so I'd love to hear your opinions in the comment section below. Tell me what you thought about it. Tell me what you think the future holds for Kale or anybody else in Dragon Ball Super, and tell me what you think is going to happen next. I'd love to get your thoughts below. Please drop a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. In my description box, you can find my other social media where you can also follow me. And let me know if you guys want more opinions in my reviews, or if you want me to just keep to the facts, or if you want no facts and just want a reaction. I really want to know, so let me know in the comment section below, or PM me. Alright guys, well, that's it for today. I will see you next time, and remember to stay powered up so you can stop Kale when she turns into Booby Broly. Alright guys, that's it for today. Mark Yoon. Peace.